Hi friends, it's your art teacher, Miss Barnett. And in this week's lesson called Surprising Sculptures, we've taken a look at two sculptures made out of unusual materials or created in unusual ways. So we talked about open forms, which light and air can pass through the sculpture. We also talked about closed forms, which no light or no air can go through the sculpture. The other thing you want to think about today as we're creating is positive and negative spaces in three-dimensional artworks like sculptures. So a positive shape is coming at you, it is coming forward. A negative shape is either a space with nothing in it or it's receding, it is going backwards or away from you in the sculpture. So I want you to think about positive and negative shapes today as we create our paper sculpture. So the supplies you're going to need today are fairly simple. You're going to want some paper. I'm going to use a 12 by 18 sheet of paper, and you're going to want some paper scraps. Any size paper is fine. And you're also going to want some scissors and maybe a little bit of tape as we go along. So gather your materials and meet me back here, and I'll show you some of the techniques that you can use to make your paper sculpture. Let's get started. Okay, kiddos, the first technique I'm going to show you is how to curl, so we'll need a pencil for that. I just took my paper and I did a slit in the paper, and now I'm going to take my pencil and very carefully wrap the paper around the pencil, until it curls, just like that. Let's try that again. So we could start at the end, pulling kind of tight, not so tight it rips, and we could curl your paper. Awesome. So that's one technique, curling. The other technique we could do is fringe. We could take our papers, you could do wider fringe like this, or you could do the cuts closer together and make it a very tight fringe. That'll be some interesting texture you could add. So fringing would be very cool for your paper sculpture. We could also do a slot. So you can just do a cut like this, and then you can take another piece of paper and just slot it in there like, like that. And then maybe, I don't know, let me cut this. You could also cut it here if you want the slot to go deeper. Just like that. And now you've made something stable. Cool. We could also use folding as a technique. So we could do an accordion fold. Fold one side, flip it over, fold the other side. Just back and forth. Until you've created a nice accordion. Fold like that. We could do slitting. So if you want to make a slit in your paper, what I've done is I fold my paper. I can make a slit right there. I could fold this. Let's do another one. Folding very carefully. That's kind of a cool way to make a negative space. So you could do it this way. You could cut a curved line in. Try to get it so like here I made like a triangle slot. That's kind of cool for a negative space. Let's try that again on this side. So all I did was fold it, not all the way, and did a curve, but didn't finish it. Nice. Nice. You could also just start a little nick like this, open it up, and you could do more of a curved shape with a slot or slit. Cool. So that's one technique. Another technique you could do is scoring and bending. So very carefully, this is super tricky. Open up your scissors, use the edge of your scissors, score the paper, and then I can bend the paper to create some form. Okay, so I've shown you all the techniques. Take a couple of minutes and practice them on some scrap paper, and in just a second I'll show you how to make your big sculpture. Here we go. Okay, kiddos, so the first thing we're going to do is take this flat paper and turn it into a rectangular prism. So you're going to fold halfway. Then you're going to open that paper and you're going to fold this side to the fold. And then this side to the fold. And then when you open it up and stand it up, it will be a rectangular prism. I'm not going to worry about connecting it yet though, because we want to be able to manipulate this and get inside. So now, using those techniques that I've shown you, I'm going to start working on my sculpture. I'm going to time lapse so you can watch me work. Remember, you can get inspiration from my work, but please do not copy me exactly. You are amazing artists and you have amazing brains. Let's get started. Okay, kiddos, so I have applied the techniques that I just taught you. I've done some curling, I've done some fringes, I've done some slots, I've done some scoring and bending, I have done some slot and fit kinds of things too, and I think I am ready to finish my sculpture. So one of the things that's really important is we want our sculpture to be able to stand on its own. I went ahead and scored a little lip here for me on my sculpture, and I'm just going to take a bead of glue and run that down the side. Lord have mercy, this glue is tight. You know, you don't need a ton, but you want a good amount so it'll stick and be stable. So I've got my glue here all the way down the lip. I'm going to flip this guy over very carefully, matching the corners. I'm going to press him here. Oops. Oops. Make sure they're connecting. And you know what? I think I might actually wait a second because look, all my pieces are falling out. Oh no. So what I might do too is secure these pieces in the back with some glue. Get all those pieces secure. Once those are secure, we will flip this guy over and finish gluing. All right, so here is my completed surprising sculpture project using paper and scissors and full